Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Brandon. If you guys say welcome to my channel, do all things algorithm, like video, comment, and subscribe. As we have another reaction video for you guys today. We're doing a reaction for King George. You know who we've done reaction videos a few times, mostly because I don't want to like make a very long comment for his videos. So I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. We'll just do a reaction to his videos and make don't like long ass comments. So today's video is why reworks are bad. Siege is again a lot of reworks. Battlefield also starting to do reworks as well. I don't know what other shooters are doing like reworks. Recently there's a rework coming out for Consulate, which is funny because when rework got announced, people were like, "Oh, Consulate's a great map. It doesn't need to be reworked." But meanwhile, it was one of the most banned maps during the last season. So obviously y'all don't like it as much as y'all claim y'all do if you're banning it in all the freaking time. Anyways, leave King George a like. His original video will be attached in the description box below, as well as a link to my Twitch stream, which is every Monday, Thursday, and my link tree. We can get to my other channels here on YouTube. Let's get into today's video.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Title of the video for this week is why reworks are bad. So we're going to kind of dive deep into it. I'm going to talk about reworks, new maps, and map buffs. Those are I guess the three big distinctions I'll kind of make here. If you can take the time to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already.
That's such a weird spot to be in.
I make it all exclusive for this channel, and if you leave a comment, I'll do my best to respond to every.
Also, that's nuts that he just headshot that dude with a shotgun and it didn't like insta kill him. It downed him. That's nuts to think about that. And it shows it's a headshot too. Well, I guess the second shot was a headshot. The first shot to the head was a knock. The second shot to the head, that's weird as hell. But also just as a siege player, why is he on his freaking the cameras in that position? Like, this is such a dumb spot. Like, there's two stair lanes here. You're going to get freaking hit. Like, go somewhere that doesn't like leave you open to watch your camera. I don't know if I have a clip in this video, but I had a recent game in Siege where a bandit, ironically because this is Jaeger bandit are from the same group, was like just in 90 hall on the cams. It's like 90 halls are a popular spot for people to walk through. You're just sitting on the cams. Go in an actual closed off room to do that.
Single one of them. But yeah, I'm King George, ex-professional player. I won the first Rainbow Six Invitational. If you want to check them out, all my socials are below. I have a second YouTube channel with full games. I have a charm on Rainbow Six if you want to get that, and I stream every day on Twitch pretty much. But yeah, let's hop into the video. Yeah, so the title of the video is why reworks are bad. And before we dive into this video as well, I wanted to say I am overall happy with how most of the reworks actually play out in Rainbow Six Siege. And, generally over time, even if a map is maybe not well received in the beginning, over time they generally prove to be pretty good and people like them, right? I mean, you could look at, a lot of the different maps. People didn't really like Chalet when it first came out, the rework, Theme Park. These are all maps that have kind of grown on people. Some of them maybe have not been.
I think the reason that happens is because people don't like new. People like what they're used to, which is also why like a lot of new maps just get banned all the time. A lot of the new maps aren't bad maps, but people ban them because they're new. They don't know where all the defaults are at. They don't know where all the popular traffic lanes are going to be at. They don't know where all the common lurk spots are at or rat spots are at. They don't know the map. So since they don't know the map, they don't like the map. They don't want to play on the map unless they have to. When you force them to play on the map, then they have to learn it. People don't like learning. People are lazy as hell and they just want to be able to play a game. Especially because of Siege nowadays. Siege nowadays, the meta is all about gunfighting. So a lot of it just comes down to like just TDM essentially, where it's like everyone's trying to get kills. So they don't want to play on a new map where they have to like they can't guess where someone's going to be, where they can't be like, oh, it's on a pre-fight right here, because people usually go through here. Even when it comes to like this map, I personally freaking like Consulate and didn't really hate it, but like the excuse people have for like why they kept banning it is because there's too many windows. It's like, well, then for the rework, just remove the windows. You don't have to change you don't have to change the entire map. Just remove the windows or smooth some windows. But even in defense of the developers, when it comes to that, it's like, if you hate Consulate because it has too many windows, Cafe has a lot of windows. Like, there's other maps that have a lot of windows that are, I feel like are way more spawn peak heavy than Consulate. Like, Cafe is definitely freaking more spawn peak heavy than freaking Consulate, especially because Consulate's like really predictable when it comes to freaking where people are going to spawn peak from, as well as there's spawn position you can go into that avoids you getting spawn peaked. Just how I view it. But also, just before in another Siege video where I said you could counteract the whole issue of spawn peaking if you remove headshots being one hit kill, which again that was Ammunition's idea. I'm just regurgitating her idea, where it's like maybe it's time for Siege to move past the one shot headshot. and that would also freaking make spawn peaking a lot rarer.
Quite as good, or they were kind of a waste of time. Favela. But overall they've been pretty good. But we'll kind of get into that as well. So it doesn't really matter that they're good overall, and I'll explain why. So before we go into this too, I have brought this stuff up to Ubisoft privately before, where I've made it known, like, hey, I don't really like the idea of reworks. I think we should go more in the direction of new maps and stuff like that when they ask me for feedback and stuff like that. So yeah. Also, as well, obviously everyone wants to know my opinion on the new consulate. I always tell people these things are too early to call. It takes a season to 2 seasons to really know if a map is like good or bad. I think it's too early to call. Overall initial impressions, obviously don't take too much from this. People have been complaining about all the small rooms and stuff like that. I kind of like them. I do. The map seems like there's like a lot. It's hard to defend as of right now, really, for me, at least it seems like. Because as an attacker, I feel like you can kind of cut stuff off pretty easily. Like yellow's pretty hard to hold and stuff like that. But once again, these are like really initial early impressions. And like as the meta develops for the map, it will change.
Oof.
Overall, I do think that the reworks are bad. These are really not reworks if you kind of look at them. They're really new maps in total. They're kind of killing.
Yeah, because ideally when it comes to like a rework, you're not changing the map itself. You're just changing like small things that people talk about and complain about. Like when Battlefield 2042 has its reworks, 2042, when it has its reworks, they don't change the entire map. They just like they add some sandbags, they add some structures, may change like some of the leveling on like heals and stuff, but they won't redesign the entire map, which for me, yeah, it kind of sucks because there's some maps that Battlefield 2042 have that could just use entire rebuilds. Like Hourglass is the new one that's getting reworked. It's like Hourglass would be better off if you just played it from the game or just actually redesign the map from the ground up instead of freaking just adding some sandbags. For Siege though, you don't really need a full ground up rework unless it's a map that just doesn't work in the game. Like Plane just doesn't work in ranked, which is why they don't even bother reworking it because they don't really want to have to like create some kind of basically a new map to where it's not really playing anymore. And the same thing comes like House. Like there's no way House be reworked into being a rankable map. But like some maps like Consulate though, they're full on rank maps. So it's like if you rework it, you get what you have now, which is like basically a brand new map. But you could just do some small things like add some instructions in front of windows so people could stop getting spawn peaked.
Killing the hype of the new season and stuff like that. When you announce that, we've reworked Consulate, well, I mean that's cool. I mean that brings a little bit of hype. I guess it's better than nothing. But what's better than that is, we made a new map, and guess what? We based it on a fan favorite, Consulate. Right? Just something like along those types of lines is a lot better. They're actually doing all of the work of essentially creating a new map. I mean, there's basically no resemblance for most of these maps. Like, while they're good, maybe like a room or two will actually be like remain the same, right? I mean, if you look at like Theme Park, it's really just kind of like bunks, sorta, cafe. Like, most of that is not really relevant. I mean, they completely got rid of trains in the middle. You look at Chalet, there's like trophy maybe, snowmobile. I mean, everything else is, maybe big garage. Pretty much everything else is kind of new for the most part, right? Oregon, maybe like dorms, like the kids' bunks. Like most of the maps are pretty much new, and you could even say, like I said, based on another map. And this way, people have an idea of like, I really like that map. It's a new map, but it's based on this one, so I'll have a general idea of kind of what I'm doing, right? I mean, essentially, Ubisoft is putting all of the work in of doing this stuff. Like, they're putting the hard part in, which is actually designing essentially a new map. And the only thing they're really saving on is new art. But they're not even really saving on new art. They're saving on a new art theme. They even really update a lot of the art and stuff inside in the whole theme of, like, the map. So, yeah, I don't really understand the purpose of it. It kind of alienates people. Especially, this is something, it's actually one of the biggest problems that I actually get. So when I'm streaming on Twitch, I'll have people that are like, oh yeah, I haven't played this game in 2 years, 3 years. What have they done with all the maps? I can't believe it. I don't know when I'm playing anymore. I tried to play Oregon, Chalet, all these maps, and I had no idea where I was going. So obviously, if you have somebody who's gone, which is, a lot of people, when you have games as a service, which is what Siege is considered and a lot of other games that are similar, You have people that jump in and out. They'll
Yeah,
take
Thorns in No
2
Man's
seasons
Land.
off, 3 seasons off, a year off, 2 years off, 3 years off, and oh, that's a really cool update. I'll come back.
This isn't about the video in terms of like the conversation with that Thorn that he shot. He shot her once and then didn't kill her, and she still was looking straight. So like turns to look at King George. Like Thorn's just like down and just still looking like straight. Like didn't even bother turning to like try to fight back. It's just No Man's Land.
Especially if there's a new
Mentally,
map.
not physically.
Cough, cough. But yeah, I mean, new maps, like, they create a ton of hype. I don't know if people remember it, but it was like the whole theme of the season, right? Let's look all the way originally to year one, season one, right? With Black Ice. You had Black Ice, there was skin themes based on it. The map was Yacht, which was all frozen. Like, it was cool. Like, it was Frost and Buck were together. They had these like frosted, these like heavy winter uniforms and stuff like that, and the characters. Right? Like there's all this like really cool stuff where you kind of like it really pieces the season together like fully. Like right now in this current season, we have a Swedish operator, but then Consulate's getting reworked. It's really just it's an old map, right? But it's getting reworked, but it's kind of a new map. So you know what I'm saying? There's like no like continuity here and like things to like piece it together and really make the season feel like a whole. And the season is called Dread Factor, but what does that have to do with Consulate really? Like there's not. I liked it when everything was kind of pieced together. It seemed like it flowed nicely.
Yeah, so like when Blackbeard and Valkyrie came out, we got Border, and it kind of fit because like the way their outfits looked were kind of like someone who was being shipped off and deployed to Middle East, and Border is a Middle East map, so like it made sense. So I get what he's saying. Like when you come out with a new season, you have a new map, you kind of get that feeling of it's going to have some kind of relation to the freaking the name of the season. Even when it comes to like the new character Fenrir, what relation does Fenrir have to the title of Red? Think about like Jackal and Mira, and they come out Velvet Shell. Excuse me. They had like a lot of purple towards them. Like they had like a lot of purple looks for them. Because the Velvet Shell kind of had like a purplish theme to it, and it came with Coastline, which has like a lot of purple like colors around the map. So like, there's some kind of like some kind of tie for the characters to the name and for the maps to the freaking the name of the season. Whereas like with this one, kind of it's like even right now for me, I don't even feel like playing this new season. Like I probably will, but I'll probably start playing it late, like pretty fast. Like I might wait like a few weeks to play the new season.
Just my personal opinion.
Which starts today.
Also, maps are blocked off from being banned now. I think one of the biggest things that people brought up and stuff on Twitter and stuff like that. So every time that I make one of these videos, I post a tweet and try to get people's feedback. So if you follow me on Twitter, that tweet will generally come on like a Tuesday or normally. But yeah, a lot of players don't want to play the new maps. I don't think that's as much of an issue anymore now that maps are being blocked off from being banned. For a long time, like with Emerald Plains, for example, which is an okay map at best, I would say, but it was, I think, who knows, it could have been more well received. I mean, look at Nighthaven. At first, people didn't really like Nighthaven. They liked the art style of it and stuff like that. Certain people that were open to playing new maps were, but a lot of like players that I played ranked with, they were like, oh, I can't believe I can't.
Yeah, I actually enjoy Nighthaven. I think Nighthaven is a pretty solid map. I think the issue with Nighthaven is the same issue that every new map everywhere has, is where it's like it's new. People don't know how to play it. If you know how to play a map, it grows when you enjoy it more. When I first played Nighthaven, I was like, okay, there's a lot going on with this map. But when I got good at Nighthaven, when I learned, some setups that I can do. Like I'll give you an example. There's one like the usual first place you go to a Nighthaven. It's like upstairs. Forgot what it's called. But basically it has a catwalk similar to the catwalk on Clubhouse. So I play that catwalk the same way I play catwalk on Clubhouse. So I would take like a zombie, make a rotation hole behind me, so I can if I need to fall back, I can fall back into sight directly. Same thing when it comes to freaking Clubhouse. Just to the right to the left of the catwalk, make a rotate so you can get back to sight. Then I just set up my some barricades in a way to where it's hard to hit me, but easy for me to get kills. So like if you learn the rotations, you learn the defaults, if you learn how to play defense somewhere, you start to like the map more and more because you're more comfortable. When people are comfortable, they enjoy maps more. A lot of things when it comes to Siege community is just lazy. They don't want to have to learn anything. They just want to be able to play.
Ban it, and those same people now love the map because it takes to give the map having a chance, of being played. But yeah,
I think if Ubisoft did that with the other maps, people would have been fine with them. Like they removed favela from the rank pool because people hated favela. Like if they forced you to play favela to the point people got used to it and learned the rotations and learn defaults, things like that, favela will be viewed as a better map. Same thing when it comes to freaking Emerald Plains. If you make people play something and they have to get used to it, they will freaking get used to it, and most people will start liking it because now they're comfortable and they're not afraid of, I might get shot from over there, over there, over there, over there. It's like, just like get comfortable.
Overall, like I do like so like I said, there are three distinctions, right? There's buffs, reworks, and new maps. I don't like reworks, but I love buffs. So if you look what they did with Bank, Coastline, even like Cafe, I'd kind of consider like a buff and stuff like that too, where the map is generally the same, right? Like if somebody from year one, season one, came back and played Bank, yeah, they move the hatches around and stuff a little bit. There's a couple of like little changes here and there, but they'll pretty much know what they're doing, and that's really good for keeping players that are coming back happy, right? And as well with this kind of stuff, like you could always make a classic playlist as well too. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Make a classic playlist, a casual playlist, unranked, ranked. So this way, if people do want to go back and play the original Hereford base, for example, right, where all that nostalgia was.
I really liked the old Hereford base because it was just a fun map. Like, was it unbalanced? Yes, it was incredibly unbalanced, but it was like really fun to play on.
If you're just getting back in the game, you haven't played the game in 3 years, and you have to jump in and you have to relearn all the mechanics of the game.
Also, I will say this too. You mentioned playlists. If Ubisoft adds a new playlist to the game, it needs to be a solo queue playlist. We hear, if you're a content creator, you know for a fact, you hear so much conversation about how to get better at solo queue and solo queue this, solo queue that. There should just be a solo queue playlist. Like it took Bungie forever to do solos for Trials Sires, but when they added a solo queue playlist to Trials Sires, the actual player numbers of Trials Sires skyrocketed because there's so many people who are like by themselves who wanted to play Trials, but they were intimidated and scared to like just go, playing Trials and with randoms. So they were like, I want to play Trials, but I don't want to play or randoms. I don't want to have to play against try hard stacks, things like that. So Bungie added a solo queue playlist for Trials of Osiris, which is like basically the most competitive form of Destiny. Rainbow Six needs solo queue. It needs solo queue playlists. Most games have it. You should get this. You should get. It's going to divide the player base. Any playlist you add is going to divide the player base. That's just how it works. But there's so many people who are solo. Not only does it help out solo queue players because they can be able to like actually play. Honestly, King George, if you see this video, maybe that should be your next video. Maybe your next video should be a solo queue playlist, and it should have it the pros and the cons. I see all the pros of it. I don't see a lot of cons. Like again, the playlist thing, not a big deal. Another pro, if you're a 4-stack and you're tired of getting like a solo queue on your freaking team, if they keep a solo queue, you won't see them. Also, you need to go find a freaking 5th player. If you're a 4-stack, go find a 5th player to play with. It just in general, if you're a 5-stack, you won't have to worry about anything other than the team you're playing against. It's a 5-stack. I just see positives to it.
Relearn all these new operators and how the meta is being played now, and relearn new maps, that's a pain. But if you could take that last one out, at least the new maps, and have a general idea of what's going on, at least on where you're going, that's a great start, right? So having that classic playlist reveal that are coming back. So Siege has like, whatever. I think there's 90-something million people who have this game, or made accounts at least and stuff like that, right? Who bought this game. Whereas, there's still like millions of people who play this game per month, but they're not all consistently playing. That's that 90-something million rotating in and out, right? There's the consistent player base, but there's a good amount of people that jump in and out of the game based on
jump in and out the game
different times. So you want to have a welcoming environment basically when those people come back, so they stick around, right?
For example, I haven't played Siege since April. That's my finished battle pass. Usually when it comes to me in shooters, when I finish battle pass, I'm just like, all right, gonna play something else. And I got to a rank that I want to get to because the way I play Siege, I don't care about getting like to the highest rank. I just want to make sure I get to like a respectable rank, and then I just stop caring. So I beat the battle pass, get to a respectable rank, then I go play other games and do the exact same thing where I'll do the battle pass, get a respectable rank, and then go to the next shooter, do the exact same thing. So like I'll stop playing Siege for a month till the new season comes out, play until I get to those two thresholds of battle pass done at a respectable rank, then leave. So I'm definitely someone who jumps in and out of Siege.
Also, one thing too, I think that new maps should be in Pro League, whether they're reworks, new maps, just in general, they should be in Pro League. People copy and mimic a lot of the things that they see in Pro League, whether they want to admit it or not. I mean, I see it all the time in my ranked games. People don't even know why they're doing things. They just copy and mimic what they see professional players do. So pro players currently,
which by the way is not the best. Like there's some tactics pros do that you should freaking kind of mimic, but there's also some tactics pros do that you should mimic because the setting. Pros do certain things because they know how the other teams want to play, and they're playing off of the information that they have from watching hundreds of hours of footage on how that team plays. Whereas like you don't do that ranked. You don't know how the other teams want to play. And most people want to play defaults. Pro League, they don't really play default all that often when it comes to like default setups. You know, they might try something different. They might do a whole different take on attack than you would see in ranked. And if you're a solo queue or duo queue, if you're not in a 5-stack, let's go with that. If you're not in a 5-stack, it's damn near impossible to do a Pro League setup and ranked because you don't have that communication. You don't even have people who all know exactly what you're trying to do. You can't run pro strats in ranked. People try it, but like it might work one round, and that's about it.
At least from my understanding, this is what it used to be back in the day as well. Is that pro players get to vote on what map gets put into the Pro League map pool. Back in the day, they basically told us, too bad, it's gonna be in there. Like you're playing the new map, whether you like it or not. That was Yacht, literally, year 1, season 1. So yes, we played Yacht competitively. So obviously now, you know, most of these reworks and stuff are actually pretty good, right? Like they're at least competitive and playable maps. Any map is technically playable, but they've been pretty decent, right? And the thing is, if it's that bad, use your bans, dude. You can ban the map out. A lot of pros do not want new stuff in the game, and they will always vote to not have new stuff in the game because they want to protect their position in Pro League. But yeah, that's kind of everything that I really wanted to cover. Just thank you guys very much, as always, for watching these videos. Like I said, if you can, drop a like, comment, sub. If you try to leave a comment, I'll try to, like I said, respond to pretty much every single one of them. And yeah, just check the description for my Twitch channel, second YouTube channel, how to get my Rainbow Six charm, and all my other socials and sponsors. I will see you guys.
All right. As always, another insightful, good video from King George. You know, someone who's also a Detroit native like myself. Show him some love. Give him a like, give him a subscription, and things like that. Follow me as well. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, Twitch. I stream Monday through Thursday. Link in the box below. Yeah, do all things algorithm likes. Hit all the links in the description box, including the original video link. Show him some love. Yeah, I generally don't think that reworks are bad for the game. Like he thinks they're good. He thinks the reworks are good in terms of like the way they look. But he doesn't like the idea of reworks in terms of just making new map. Leave the maps as they are with small touch-ups, aka buffs, and then make new maps, which, you know, I can kind of agree with that too. I don't think, like I said, even I said in this video, they didn't have to rework Consulate. They could have just added some things to lessen, you know, the blow of people complaining about where it comes to like, I get spawn peaked too much on Consulate, you know, things like that. But anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I'll enjoy it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Y'all stay safe. Be constant one another. I'm out of here. Deuces.